Alright, so we're continuing from where we left off the last time out, and if you really followed through, you remember that we did set up a local area network and we gave all these systems here IP addresses, right? So that's what we did the last time out. Now we want to expand this network because sometimes it's not really possible for all your staffs to connect to the same switch on the network. So you could have several floors in your building and you have your staffs across all these floors, and so it requires that you have a couple of switches mounted on each of the floors. For instance, the switch we are using here, this very switch, is 24 port switch. So in a situation where you have more than 24 devices to connect, what do? What we do is simply to buy another switch, right? And so if we buy another switch here and we are going to connect a couple of systems to this switch, let's say we'll bring out yet another 6 systems just as we have in the other switch. So here we have 6 PCs connected, and even if we go ahead and give all these systems their own IP address, because the last time out all the systems here are able to ping each other, right? And so if you go ahead and give all these guys IP address, they should be able to ping each other. But we are going to have an issue when someone on this switch wants to go across to talk to someone on the other switch. So in that case, we need to have a crossover cable that is connecting the 2 switches together, right? And that's what we want to achieve now. We want to expand this network to using 2 switches, and we'll go ahead and begin to implement virtual LAN, where we begin to deny people on different departments that opportunity of talking to each other. So you can only talk to each other if you happen to be on same department. So if you're on different departments, you're not going to be able to talk to each other, and that's what we are going to achieve. But then before we do that, let's expand this network. We are going to bring out another switch. We're going to use a crossover cable to connect this switch 1 to switch 2. And if you have launched your own packet tracer, based on what we did the last time out, we brought out a switch that has 6 systems, and we want to repeat the same thing. Going to go to network devices, and I'm going to select switches, right? And then select 2960, drop it on the workspace. We'll come here after network devices. Next up is end devices, and click on it to see PC. Just as we did it the other time, I'm going to bring out 3 PCs, which is basically desktop computers, and I also bring out 3 laptops. Okay, so all we do is just say click on the device and drop it. Click also on the workspace to drop it. Okay, so we now have 6 systems on the other side, and this is connections. So click on the connections. When I hover on the cable, you're going to see somewhere here it shows me the name of the cable that my mouse is on. So you can see at the middle here it's telling me that my mouse is on copper straight through, right? Okay, so select the cable, then click on the PC, select fast Ethernet, click on the switch, select port 1. And we're going to continue this process until all the systems have been connected to the switch. Click on the system, fast Ethernet, click on the switch, select port 2. Alright, so let's go ahead and connect all the other systems. Alright, so we have the last system to connect now. So click on the system, select fast Ethernet, click on the switch, select port 6, and now time has come for us to connect the 2 switches together using a crossover cable. So I'm going to click on the system. Let me use port 10 to connect to the other switch with a crossover cable also on port 10. Alright, so port 10 on this switch 1 is connecting to port 10 on the switch 2. It doesn't have to be same port both sides. So you could use port 10 here and use whatever port you like. I just want to keep it the same, but it doesn't have to be same. That's the point. Alright, so now we'll go ahead and let's confirm something. If I click on this PC and click on IP configuration, so you could see this guy is on 5.1 network, and I believe that the second PC should be on 5.2. all right, so if this is 5.1, 5.2, 5.3, 5.4, 5.5, 5.6, we could start from here on the other switch on 5.7. all right, so IP configuration can type 192.168.5.7 and put the subnet mask, and that's it. And then we'll go here, and that will be 192.168.5.8. then we'll put the subnet mask, and that will be it. We just continue like that and give all the other systems the IP. Now, with IP addressing having been given to all the systems on switch 2, and crossover cable also has been used to connect the switch 1 to switch 2, it's now time for us to test connectivity. So it should be possible for somebody on switch 2 to access another system on switch 1. So this guy here is 5.7, and this guy here, let's just confirm, is on 5.6. all right, so 5.7 is on this switch. Let's see if we can reach 5.6 on the other switch. Click on it, click on desktop, and open command prompt, and here type ping 192.168.5.6. Now before I hit the enter key, let me expand this window and hit enter. You could see that the ping is responding, so someone in switch 1 is able to talk to someone in switch 2. Let's assume that the switch 1 is on the second floor and switch 2 is on the third floor. Regardless of the distance or regardless of the location, people on those two switches can still be able to access each other if the switches are connected to each other with a crossover cable. all right, so now the next presentation will be focusing on implementing VLAN on this network. I hope you enjoyed this demo, and see you in the next video.